I'm Joel DeYoung. I'm a producer at Radical Entertainment, working on Crash Tag Team Racing. Crash Tag Team Racing is a combat racing game in the Crash Bandicoot universe. It features innovative combat racing gameplay, all situated in a platforming gameplay as well. So Crash can run around the world and perform missions, do jumping puzzles, find funny things, interact with the other characters, and there's always lots for the player to do. So in the racing part of the game, we have this feature called clashing. Clashing is where you take two of the cars in the race and you combine them together into one supercar. One of the players drives the car, the other one is mounted on the back with a 360-degree turret. So it really adds to this combat racing idea so that you're not restricted by the direction you're driving as to where you can shoot. So the neat thing as well is that you don't remain clashed the whole race. You decide, you drive up close to someone, hit a button, and you combine together. And you can do that with one of the AI characters, you can do that with your buddy when you're playing multiplayer. And you can clash and unclash as many times as you like during the race. When you are clashed, you can borrow the other player's weapon, because each of the characters has their own special weapon with its own unique abilities. And when you run out of ammo on your own weapon, you just switch weapons to theirs. You can also switch roles. So if you're the gunner and there's an area where you want to drive or take a shortcut or do some particular thing, you can switch, jump in the driver's seat and drive for a while, and then switch and jump back in the gunner's seat. It's a ton of fun. It's really interesting too, because when you're racing, you're ultimately competing with everybody else, but temporarily while you're clashed with them, you're kind of cooperating. And it's really cool in multiplayer especially, because there's this tension. We set it up so that when you unclash, whoever starts the unclash pushes out ahead a little bit. And so you're clash with your buddy, you're getting near the end of the race, who's going to be the first to unclash? Because it obviously offers you an advantage, but then you're in front and you're quite vulnerable to getting shot. So in the world, there's 5 themed areas, because it takes place in a theme park, and each of those themed areas has 3 racetracks. So on those racetracks you can do just the regular races where you clash and unclash. There's also 4 mini-game modes. One is Fast Lap, which is just the best lap time. One is called Crashinator, where there's things placed in the track. It's kind of like a precision driving mode. You're trying to hit as many items as you can under a certain time constraint. There's also a couple where you're always clashed and you're acting as the gunner while AI drives for you. One is called Run and Gun, where you're trying to shoot targets at the side of the track. You try to get as many as you can. The other one's Rolling Thunder, and it's a ton of fun. You're always clashed, and there's unclashed cars, sort of a continual supply driving past you, or you're passing them. They're sort of in the area, and you try to blow up as many as you can. The other gameplay that we have, you find on the on-foot areas, the platforming, and these are our little on-foot mini-games. Being in a theme park, we've got sort of classic midway games with shooting mechanics. There's like a duck shoot, and there's skeet shoot. And there's several other games that are built around a similar kind of gunning mechanic. We also have a bowling mini game, which is a lot of fun. The game was developed by the team that did The Simpsons Hit and Run, and so it's a team that understands not only really fun driving, but also humor. So from the beginning, we set humor out as a goal of what we wanted to do with this game. We really wanted to hear people laughing out loud when they play it. There's a lot of ways we do that, from the animations being over the top to the power-ups you get while you're driving being just ridiculous and funny, like lobbing a grand piano or a cow. Another thing we did is we called Diorama. We really turned this idea of having lives in the game on its head, and instead of having lives, you actually collect death. And so you run around and try to find places in the game where Crash will meet his demise, and you get a little trigger icon and you trigger it and it shows a little cutscene and things like anvils falling on people, and they're pretty hilarious. And you collect all of those in the game. There's around 34 of them, but if you get them all, you get a special unlockable. Crash Tag Team Racing is going to be available on Xbox, GameCube, PS2, and PSP, and it'll be coming out in October.